Good. Well, it has been a season of political party launching their manifestos in the last 30 days, from Azimio la Umoja to Kenya Kwanza, and of course Agano Party and the Roots Party of Kenya. All of them have launched their documents promising Kenyans grand ideas. And the question is these: are they workable? Can they be implemented given the current economic situations that we are in as a country and as a world? What does it take to implement them? And are they well aligned with Kenya's long-term economic blueprint of Vision 2030? Those are the questions that we are facing tonight. I'm joined by Vimal Shah. He's the chair of Mkenya Daima, and Mwige, the Director General of Vision 2030. These are the two gentlemen who will be guiding us to help us understand whether these documents are well aligned and whether these politicians, they can deliver their promises. Vimal Shah, thank you very much indeed for finding time to be with us this evening.
Good evening.
And of course, Mwige, thank you as well for your time.
Karibu.
And I want to start with you, Mwige, you know, as the Director General of Vision 2030 Secretariat. When you analyze the four documents so far launched by Kenya Kwanza, Azimio la Umoja, Roots Party and Agano, do you feel that they are well aligned with Vision 2030?
Thank you for the question. There are 91 registered political parties in Kenya. 91. We've seen, I think, 4 parties produce manifestos so far. So we have 87 manifestos still out there. And you have to agree statistically, one of those parties could say something which would turn the tide. You never know what happens. So the reason why we're looking at these manifestos is because manifestos are the promise to wananchi. They're the promise to wananchi. And we want to ensure that the political class is aware that Kenya is not starting from scratch.
Yep.
We're not starting from scratch. A lot of good hard work has been done over the last 15 years or so, from 2008. You have public servants, private sector working very, very hard to try and move this country forward. And I think if we are fair to this country and if we are fair to ourselves and if we are honest for a minute, even the political competitors today, I think none of them is saying that nothing has happened in Kenya. There's development everywhere, everywhere, across all sectors, across all pillars. And one of the big things which did very well for this country was devolution. The new constitution in 2010, which was one major key deliverable under the political pillar, and which is underpinning all the development in this country. And then the onset of devolution in 2013. Today, if you go to any part of this country, start extreme northwest, Turkana, border with South Sudan, go north, border with Ethiopia, go northeast, border with Somali, come all the way down Tanzania. Everywhere you go, you will find development in this country, across all sectors, whether it's roads, whether it's hospitals, whether it's schools, whether it is curriculum, whether it is whatever it is. So we've made a lot of good progress as a government and as a country. And the task for political parties is to move the country forward. There's no political party which says we want to undo all the gains which have been made. There's no political party which says we're going to reverse all the gains which have been made. All political parties want well for this country, and the manifesto is their promise of how they're going to do it. So manifestos are very important because we want the citizens to be able to compare apples and oranges, to be able to compare goats and sheep, to be able to tell the difference between an animal and a plant. So the manifesto is very, very important because as Kenya is a very literate country, by the way. Kenyans are literate. They read, they watch TV, and they listen to the radio, and they are very, very actively engaged in politics and development. So a manifesto is becoming increasingly a very, very important document because Kenyans want to hold their leaders to account. You told us in the last election, let's start from where? 2002, for example. These were the promises in 2002. In 2007, you have another set of promises. In 2013, you have another set of promises. In 2017, you have another set of promises. And right now, all you're getting is many, many promises. But how do these promises work? How do they sit? How do they interface with existing government systems and existing priorities which are going on? And if you want to change, something, for example, to deliver in a different way from the current government is doing, then the manifesto is what tells us how you intend to do it. How do you plan to do it? So these documents are very, very important. We have 4 so far, and for me, I'm hoping that we can see the other 87. Hopefully, before the next 3 weeks are over and it's the election.
Yes. You see, one of the most interesting thing about the Kenyan politics now, the question of how to improve people's lives, the question of how to grow the economy, is now taking the center stage. And as the chairperson of Kenya Daima, what does this exactly mean for us as a country?
I think first and foremost, we have grown very well. I think we've matured to a level of democracy, number one. Number two, I think when you look at the Vision 2030 and when you look at the manifestos, you can see the language of everyone is about the economic, the social, and the political pillars, right? And then, of course, the enablers and the foundations and the enablers that were there. So Vision 2030 became a very good framework for people to now build on and say, where do we go? If you look at the ideologies and the philosophies that all of them have brought through, it's about economy, it's about jobs, it's about how do I do, the social agenda. It's about equitable and affordable services to people, education, healthcare, the whole lot. So I think overall, we have matured quite well in our democracy. And you can see the language is also of competitiveness, right? They're all talking about where do we go in terms of competitiveness, improved lifestyles for all, housing. Some of them are talking about the whole Big Four agenda, agribusiness, manufacturing, housing, and also healthcare, affordable healthcare. So I think alignment overall is quite good. So when we look at that, I think the leadership is looking towards the same direction. So we don't have variances in ideology. What we have is about who's going to be the best leader to sort of take us there and who sits in that position. So I think we have matured quite well. Alignment of a lot of the parties, a lot of the languages is there, the civil service the same way. So I think this is where we see that we don't see serious disruption where one is a communist party and one is a capitalist party and say we're going to go different directions.
You are part of the National Economic and Social Council that was in charge of overseeing the implementation of Project Under Vision 2030. Do you feel that these 4 manifestos, they plug in completely with the Vision 2030 agenda?
Yes, so I think that's very, very strong in terms of framework, very similar framework. The only thing is the how-tos and the detail is different, that's all. And I think some people are doing it differently, some people are doing it differently, and they're articulating it differently. However, we're going from MTP 3 to MTP 4 now, the medium-term plan 4, and that's where we're going to change. So when this comes out and whoever comes in, they're going to now go into the detailed how-to of getting things done. What a lot of us look at is short-term problems. Oh, we have a short-term problem of economy. We've come out of 2 years of COVID and we have had disruption. And therefore, today, imported inflation is a big problem. It's all imported inflation because we do import a lot of stuff. And therefore, the prices overall have gone up. So that's affecting people in a big way. However, to address that, you can see the social pillar has become stronger. And I think the governance pillar also, they're all looking at it differently. So seriously, when we look at it from a Mkenya Daima perspective, I think first and foremost, we're going to have a smooth transition, number one. Number two, they're all talking very similar in terms of where we're going. The question now is about people, whom do they trust? And at Mkenya Daima, we say, kagua bele ya kuchagua, or kagua kabla ya kuchagua. So people can see and screen and see who are the best people who can take this vision and make it happen. So manifestos are a very good thing. The philosophy is shown, the ideology is shown, and it actually shows what it is. The detail how-to will come later.
It will come later. Ken, I also want to hear from you. I mean, you see, when you look at the 4 documents that have so far been launched, they talk so much about how to address the Kenyan economy, the business environment, from a local perspective. And what we are forgetting is that Kenya is a player in the global arena, whereby you have more than 190 countries, playing in the global sphere. Are you convinced, or do you feel that we have somehow neglected the issues of geopolitics in our manifesto plannings?
Thank you. I think let me start with something Vimal said here about the issue-based politics. One of the key desires of the political pillar of Kenya Vision 2030 is to have issue-based politics. Issue-based politics, and that's away from identity and tribe and things like that. And I think Kenyans, wherever we are today, we need to be very, very grateful, because I think we're seeing this as our first election where it is not about Vimal's tribe or Mwige's tribe or Kimani's tribe. It is about the economy. Kenyans are saying we don't really care what tribe we come from right now. The hunger is the same for all of us. The problems are the same for all of us. And there's no tribe which gets special treatment anywhere. We all suffer equally. So it's very, very good. It shows that Kenya is maturing politically, because in this election, there's only one issue on the table, really, the economy. Only one issue. And that's a very, very good win for this country, because it means we have transcended, and we hope the political class can realize this has happened and please not take us back to identity-based politics and tribal politics. We need to maintain the momentum. We need to have this election decided on an issue, and the next election decided on another issue or other issues, so that we move away from this balkanization of the country, etc. And then we start dealing with real problems the way we should deal with them. Kenya, in the last 2 years, we've discovered that we are part of the global world. Something happens in China, and then the whole world shuts down. Something happens somewhere else, something else happens. We are completely interconnected in the global economy, even socially. Social media, the internet, we are really a global village. So Kenya can't work or develop in isolation. We can't. We are part of East Africa. We are part of we are part of Africa. We are part of the world. So, and there's nothing we can do here which is an island in isolation, which is why when we developed a framework manifesto to guide political parties, we said we also have to align to the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030, SDGs, and also African Agenda 2063. So that Kenya is not going off on a tangent by itself. We are actually following, and we are making incremental changes, incremental developments. So the task of the incoming government is to consolidate the past gains, and then give a fresh push to achieve what we want faster or better. That's what we want.
Let's now have a look at a cursory review of what some of the political parties have promised in their manifestos, and we'll start with the Azimio la Umoja. And this is what they're promising. They have come up with an agenda they are calling the Fukuza and Shah agenda to deal with food insecurity, jumpstart made in Kenya to boost the manufacturing sector. The Azimio manifesto also talks about this is Azimio la Umoja. They're also talking about increasing funding to counties to enable them set up industrial parks, exploit blue economy and fisheries through funding and research. Another thing that they are proposing is what they are calling the Baba Connect. This is very interesting because they're talking about making fiber optic cables available countrywide, and finally setting up of steel mills through public-private partnerships. Those are some of the promises within the or contained in the Azimio la Umoja manifesto. Let's now look at Kenya Kwanza, where they're talking about allocating 250 billion shillings to farmers from financial year 2023 to 2027, raise mortgage numbers from 30,000 to 1 million, boost construction of affordable housing to 250,000 units. Something else that they are talking about is the digital superhighway, adopt electric mass transit system, and something else is allocate 50 billion shillings a year for SMEs or medium, small, or micro, small and medium enterprises. What is Agano Party promising Kenyans? Well, they're saying they want to slash pay as you earn by half, that is 50%. Then they want to improve returns for farmers by weeding out cartels and middlemen. That is the Agano. They also plan to review export and import tariffs in order to rejig our export business. What about the Roots Manifesto, the Roots Party of Kenya? They are talking about legalizing commercial marijuana farming and exports. They're also talking about introduction of snake rearing and export to help offset the national debt. Quite radical there, if you ask me. What else are they saying? They want to start export of dog meat to China and other countries. And finally, they want to authorize the harvest of hyena organs for export. Very radical there, if you ask me. I want to hear. I want your thoughts on, especially the Roots Party of Kenya proposals on, legalization of marijuana farming, harvesting of hyena products, organs for export. What do you make of that as a person from the private sector?
I think first and foremost, I would say congratulations to them on being innovative and looking at new things. The question that comes in is whether that's practical or not. And I think in this world that we're living in, these are probably not very practical and they're not ethical in all aspects. So there'll be a lot of resistance to that globally and ourselves locally. I think that's something that we've got to accept. But it's just that let's have the discussion. This shows us that the democracy in Kenya is thriving. We can actually have such proposals and you can still be a presidential candidate. But I think overall, practically not possible.
There will be a lot of challenges. So if one day on the 9th of August or 10th or 11th, we wake up and Kenyans elect Professor Wajakoya as the president, do you think his proposals, they rhyme with the aspirations of Vision 2030?
I think, okay, let's talk about Roots Party for a minute. Very, like Vimal says, very bold, radical, not out of the box. There's no box here. They've created their own box.
Yeah.
And this is good. And I'll tell you why it is good, O'Brien. Not too long ago, a few hundred years ago, not many, the world was flat. O'Brien, everyone thought the world was flat. And there were one or two people who raised their hands to say, excuse me, I don't think it's flat. Galileo Galilei, one of them, for example. They were excommunicated from the church, same church we have today, excommunicated and banned and hanged and killed from the stake for daring to say what nobody is ready to say. So we must congratulate Professor Wajakoya because he's daring and he has dared to say what other people are too scared to say. But moving away from that, let's come now to the serious issue about the Roots Party and their manifesto. It is a fact that the rest of the world is racing very fast to deal with the question of marijuana. Not just for commercial use, hemp, industrial hemp, but also for medical use. And I want to tell you, O'Brien, especially for medical use, if you have ever been affected by cancer, or somebody you know has been affected by cancer, you will drop all your religions and you will drop all your dogmas in your head and you will take any medicine which you think can help you. It's a fact that the medical marijuana business is worth billions in the world. And the danger now for Kenya, for example, is to close our eyes, stick our heads in the sand and say, bangi ni mbaya. But the rest of the world is moving ahead with it. There's research and development going on. The state of Israel today, we are Christians in Kenya. If you go to the state of Israel, the Holy Land, the Bible, where the Bible came from, where Jesus was born, where Christians call home, spiritual home, and Muslims as well, you find that the marijuana industry there is very, very advanced in Israel. Okay? So we need to be careful not to wave our Bibles here too much and be left behind.
So you're of the opinion that this is something
I'm of the opinion that his ideas need to be looked at seriously.
They need to be probed seriously.
If you look at the US, for example, marijuana is legal in more than half the states. Okay?
It's also legal in Canada.
It's legal in Canada, it's legal in South Africa, it's legal in Malawi. Uganda has started dealing with it, Malawi started dealing with it, even Rwanda started dealing with it. So it's a question of how well do we also put our So we need to be careful here, not to wave Bibles too much. so that in 3 short years, we are now consumers of other people's products.
Very well.
Because to be legalized, it's a question of time.
It's a question of time.
It's a question of time.
You know, in the interest of time, because we have to come to the end, I want to hear from Vimal here. When you look at, you know, the private sector and how Kenya is now conducting its politics, are you convinced that, you know, as the private sector, we have come of age? You know, we are conducting ourselves, you know, as a serious democracy?
I think we are. When you look at the allowance, the media, I mean, you guys are the media, right? You've got freedom of speech. You've got freedom to say whatever you want to. That's a democracy. I think there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is that we would want people now to start looking and saying, fine, let me inspect this. What they're saying, is that something that I trust or not? And I think the responsibility that we were saying now, and Kenya Daima is not just private sector. Kenya Daima is part of religious bodies, civil societies, media, private sector, business, youth and women groups coming together to say, let's look at this holistically. And then look at it and say, can we now pass the responsibility to everyone? So we're moving away from haki yetu towards something called wajibu wetu. And from that we're saying this time, nitatenda wajibu wangu. So when we say nitatenda wajibu wangu, we're asking wajibu wangu ni nini? So a lot of people are asking that. And what we're saying is 3 things. First and foremost, check screen. Kagua kabla kuchagua, which means check the people you are going to bring in. Are they the right people for what I would like to see in this country? Number 1. Number 2, when you go to the ballot box, and when you go into that ballot box, at that time it's the pen and it's your paper and it's you alone. There is no other influence in that ballot box, box, where you are talking about it yourself. Do the right thing. Wajibu wangu is do the right thing and bring the right people out. Not being influenced by tribe, like not being influenced by party or colors, and really say, wajibu wangu is this. Vote. And after voting, we're saying go back home, peacefully wait for the elections, for the results, and then whatever happens. Another wajibu wangu for the political leaders, we're saying, is to say, if you win, have your speech ready. If you lose, have your conceding speech ready.
2 speeches.
And accept. Or go to court.
And also the other thing that I must add, I mean, you don't really, after you vote, you don't have to go home. You can also go and open your business. You can,
Yes,
you can go and tend to your farm.
Life goes on.
Because you have done your business.
And that's
the rest
another
is
thing.
left to IEBC.
That's another thing right now we're saying, for the next 30 days, do not start destocking. Do not start saying, I will play it safe. I won't plant anything because I want to play it safe. I don't know what's going to happen. Nothing's going to go wrong in this country.
Very good. Gentlemen, I'm being told that, you know, our time is up.
Do you have a parting shot?
A parting shot in 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Kenya is doing well. We're doing very well. We've done a lot of good work. Civil servants, public servants have done a lot of good work, pushing the agenda. And the state is like a ship. It's a big, heavy thing. So when you find we've made progress, we need to jealously guard that progress and build on it, so that we're not throwing away the baby with the bathwater. We need to build on the very, very considerable gains which have been made, so that we can achieve this vision sooner rather than later.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I know there is so much we can say, but of course we're going to create more platforms like this so that we can really discuss where Kenya is and where we really want to go as a country. Otherwise, thank you so very much.